Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am JP, the Outlaw, the voice that makes some noise, your favorite color commentator. Here to give you my review of NXT, the April the 11th, Jesus Christ, 2018. They start off the show with Sane and Lacey Evans. I told you guys last night they'd be fighting each other. The last time we talked about NXT. Quick side note, the vast difference in product at the NXT. You guys know that this is a big show. So normally after the big show it's just a bunch of interview packages and maybe one or two matches. Maybe. But I normally don't report on these NXT shows after a big NXT takeover show. But this one has a special draw to it, and I'll tell you why at the end of this. So, Lacey Evans and Kairi Sane, decent match, nothing major to report there. I think they're going to start pushing Lacey Evans into that number one heel role, and that's basically her just being a bad guy. But if they push her there, I think Kairi Sane is the best antagonist for her because Kairi Sane represents everything she does not. Private princess. She thinks women live in a fantasy world and all this other good stuff. Like I said, her gimmick I do not like only because it's like that old 50s women's I'm starting to get right shit. So, you remember the picture with the old lady hitting the muscle on, stuff like that. Her whole character reminds me of that one fucking picture. But for the most part, she's a decent wrestler. Now, I can see them doing something with her, not in a major capacity. Not when you still got Shayna Baszler down there, but I wouldn't mind seeing her fight for the NXT Women's Championship one day. I already know Kairi Sane, they're pushing to the moon, so that's neither here nor there. I think Kairi Sane should be the next number one contender, but we'll find that out in the weeks to come. Backstage segment with the Undisputed Era from NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Bobby Fish all in the interview segment having, I forgot who did the interview. One of the new ones. She actually doesn't sound robotic, to be honest with you. I think she does. She's the host of WWE now. I can't think of her name. I'll get it to you by the next NXT review. But, she asks them, how does it feel, to keep the tag team champions, be the second Dusty Rhodes, maybe the third or fourth Dusty Rhodes Classic winner, and also winning the North American Championship, talking to Adam Cole. Adam Cole with a snark remark, well, this was always going to happen, blah, blah, blah. She tried to get a couple of words from Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong leans over to Adam Cole and whispers something in his ear, and they all walk away. I thought this was a good interview as far as an interview segment for Adam Cole. Not too much talking, not too much, they're celebrating, still coming off the cusp of that win at NXT New Orleans. Backstage segment with Shayna Baszler. Her interview lady, I forget her name too, but short. I think she might be Spanish. But for the most part, she asked Shayna Baszler, what's the next step? Where are you taking the women's NXT division? Shayna Baszler says, the days of fighting champions and all this other good stuff is not over. I'm going to continue that, but you have to earn the spot. All this prissy, girly stuff does not matter to Shayna Baszler because she's a fucking beast. So that's pretty much how that interview went. Backstage segment with Ember Moon and Nia Jax. After Ember Moon got moved up to Monday Night Raw, I thought this was an impressive segment. Ember Moon talked very highly of Shayna Baszler. I wish they would have had that rubber match, but that might happen on Raw probably next year. It wouldn't surprise me if Ronda Rousey ends up with a faction coming out of WrestleMania 35. So, if she ends up with a faction, I know Shayna Baszler being one of the four horsewomen of UFC, I think that's going to happen. Either the four horsewomen of UFC versus the four horsewomen of the WWE. I think that's going to happen at SummerSlam. Because if you look at how they're moving everybody up at a sporadic pace, Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey. I can't think of the other two names. Roderick Strong's wife, and I forget the skinny crackhead looking chick. But for the most part, I think all four of them forming that four horsewoman faction will be good for the WWE as far as ratings. That's just my opinion of it. Our second match of the night and our final match of the night, Heavy Machinery versus Riddick Moss and Santino Samatelli. Decent match. It looked like everybody was getting their spots in until you had the debut of War Machine. And War Machine beat the ever-loving piss out of Heavy Machinery and Riddick Moss and Santino Samatelli. Now, you could do a lot with War Machine. These are some big fucking dudes. When they come to the ring, they look like they're there just to fuck shit up. So, I would like to see how they book War Machine going into the next few months. That's instantly your number one contenders for the tag team championships against Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. I wouldn't mind seeing that. An homage to Ring of Honor, which I think is one of the indie promotions that I watch frequently, but I think that would be a great homage to them. And that's pretty much it. That's NXT, you guys. Nothing big to report here. I'll be back with news and rumors as far as the weekend goes. And also, I will be doing a mock draft of the WWE Shakeup. I'll probably be getting that out there sometime this week. And also, I have put the final touches on JP Universe mode, the roster. That'll be up later this weekend in the first episode of Monday Night Raw, the new first episode of Monday Night Raw, okay? So, I might even call it Brand Wars, depending on how I feel today. But all of that'll be up this weekend. Also, we'll be talking news and rumors, stuff, the UK Championship Tournament, and Alberto Del Rio leaving Impact Wrestling. We'll go over everything as far as that is concerned. I am JP the Outlaw. I have to get dressed, get ready to go to work. I want you guys to have a great day. You do the same. Peace.